everybody. Let me go ahead. I'm going to put this on my face for one small second here. There we go. Good morning. I am going to show you an adorable little Rolodex album today, and I hope you enjoy it. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Grab your supplies, your paper, your designer series paper, your everyday happiness paper, and the everyday you and me bundle, because you're going to want to make this one. Okay, let me go ahead and put my hands on again. Sorry about that. All right, here we go. All right, so we're starting out with the box top. The box top is 10 inches by 5 inches, and you are going to score it on the long side at 1.5 inches, and make sure you use your scoring blade. 1.5 inches, and don't push down too hard. You will go right through your designer paper. And then 4 3/4 inches, and here we go for that. And then 6 1/4. We're just going to open this little paper trimmer up here. Move my cute little Rolodex item out of the way. We'll put him up here for now, and then I'll show you what he looks like. We're going to go 6 1/4, and 6 1/4 is kind of hard on our paper trimmer. You kind of have to look pretty good for it. It's right here. And then we're going to go 9 1/2. All right. And then on the short side, we are going to score at 1.5 inches. Okay. All right, and let's burnish all of these edges, and then we'll start to put our top together. And I use different paper than I did on the first one. I'm just going to set this out of the way for just a moment. On the first one, I did this pretty flower paper, and you can make it pretty much however you want. So I thought, well, I'll try something different this time. In case I want to give this maybe as a masculine gift, this paper is pretty conducive to that. Okay, because this would make a great grad gift too. All right, so we're going to burnish these edges, and then you'll be able to see them a little bit better. There's one of those backings. They're all over. I can't get away from the backings. Okay. Here's my next one. There. There. And there. Okay, so of course this little piece here is what's going to help put our box together. What we're going to need to do is get our paper snips. And this is kind of like a standard box. If you've made these before, you pretty much know how to cut a box, but I'm going to show you anyway. We're going to cut up to these markers, just to that first score line, that 1.5 inch score line, like so, and like so. Okay, now this piece down here in the corner, this little 1/2 inch piece by 1.5 inch piece, we're going to cut that right out. We don't need him. Okay, there we go. Now, typically, I would burnish these ends here, but we don't need to do that on this one. So let me go ahead, and I'm just going to angle cut our tabs for this box. Okay. There we go. And here we go. All right, and then I'm going to set this aside because I want to make sure there's very little difference between the top and the bottom of the box. And I want to make doggone sure that I did not label these wrong, which could be the case. So I'm going to set that one aside. I'm going to put my sticker back on it, and I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. And we're going to do what I said was going to be the box bottom. And I just, like I said, want to make sure, and I think I got them mixed up. So this piece is 10 1/4 by 4. And we are going to score it at 1 1/2 on the long side. This is on the long side. 1 1/2, 4 7/8. And that's the mark right before you get to 5, okay? 6 3/8. So we got to open up my trimmer. 6 3/8. And that is right here, right before we get to the 1/2 inch marker. Okay. And then 9 3/4, which is right here. And there we go. And then on the short side, we are going to score at 2 1/2. 2 1/2. There we go, 2 1/2 inches. And we are also going to score at 4 inches. Let me get that. Right. Well, that can't be right. What did I do? It's 4 inches. Okay, guys, I had to grab another piece of paper, and I apologize because on my little piece of paper here, I had it marked down that I need to score at 4 inches too, and I didn't. It's a 4-inch size piece of paper. So I apologize for that, but we are going to continue here. I got a new piece, so all is good, right? I tell you, sometimes the things we do, right? Okay, so on this, it's 10 1/4 by 4, and I have the 4 and I have the 10 1/4. All right, so you're going to score it at 1 1/2 inches. Let me do that. And this is actually, it's actually on the short side, 1 1/2 inches. And then you're going to come over here and you're going to score it at 1/2 inch. Okay, and you can use your diagram here. All right. And then we're going to score it at the 1 1/2. Okay, so we're going to get 1 1/2. And this is on the long side. 1 1/2. Let's see, 4 7/8. And this is going to give us that 3 3/8 size in between. 4 7/8 and 6 3/8. There we go. And then we have 9 3/4, which is our half mark that we already did over here. I like to do this half one first because it lets me see where I need to put my tabs. And yes, this is the box bottom. Okay, this first one we did is the box top, believe it or not. All right, so here we go. Let me get this one. We're going to burnish all of our edges. Again, I'm sorry I messed up. Let's do this 1/2 inch piece first. And then we'll do the next one here. And if you look at the picture, the diagram, I think it really helps be able to see this. All right, so now we have all of our pieces. And if you put the 1/2 inch piece over to your right side, it's going to help you when doing this. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut out this top little piece. So I have my 1 1/2 inch score line at the top and my 1/2 inch score line to the right hand side. And then we're going to burnish this little corner right there and on this end right here. Let me turn down my brightness a little bit. The sun came out and wow. How's that? Is that a little better? Let me adjust my color here. Just a wee bit. That's a little better. Okay, we're good now. Okay, so we have this. Now this 1 1/2 inch piece, we're gonna leave it as is. And we're just going to cut up right here. Come on. Just like this. Okay. Then the next piece, we're actually going to cut this down about a half of an, about a half an inch. You're just going to run your scissors across there. It does not have to be precise because this is a tab, right? And then you're going to cut down the edge like this. Then you get this little shorter piece, and we are going to angle cut these corners here. Okay, just like that. All right, then we have this next big piece, and this next big piece we can cut actually in half here. And I was gonna try to score all this for you, but it doesn't make sense. It's easier just to cut it because nobody's gonna really see this anyway. So we're just gonna bring that across just like that. And then we're gonna cut down on our next piece here. Like that. So then you have this shorter piece. It's just a wee bit shorter than the tab. And then we're gonna do the next tab, which is gonna be pretty close to the first one, which is right here. About a 1/4 of an inch off of that. And then we're just going to angle cut it. Just like this. Oh, and I forgot to angle cut this piece too because we want this angle cut. Okay. And like that. Okay, so then when you do this whole thing, it's going to form your little box. And actually, I think this is the top of the box. My bad. I did get it mixed up. This first part is the bottom of your box. That's why we don't put things together right away, right? We look at what we have. All right, so this is going to go together just like a normal box top would. Just like this, and then this little flap gets tucked in first. All right, so let's go ahead. We're gonna assemble our box top, which is my bad. One of those days, folks, one of those days. And, you know, actually, I'm going to use a little tear tape on this, I think, for the one side piece that holds it all together. It'll be easy to, hopefully you guys can see this good. Hopefully I didn't confuse everybody too much. So originally our box top is really our box bottom, and the one I just did is really our box top. If you didn't catch all that, well, welcome to my world. All right, we're gonna undo this. We're gonna start assembling our box top. Just bring this piece over and line it up like so. Oops, I got that a little crooked. Get it off of there. Line up your one end first here. There we go, and there we go, and there we go. All right. Okay, now the rest is easy peasy. We're going to flip in our two sides, flip down our short piece, and then finish with our long. Now, if you want, you can put just a little bit of glue right here and right here so that that piece holds together. And when I do that, I'm going to turn it over and just kind of rub it from the inside. Okay? Just to get that to hold. And it still didn't hold. All right, we'll worry about that once we get the rest of it done. All right, and on this piece, you're gonna do this, little glue at the top here, not a lot. You could use tear tape for this too if you wanted to, and just make sure it lines up flush, like so. Okay. Push these down on the inside, make sure that they hold good, and there is our lid. Now to decorate the lid, we're gonna do a couple different things. we are going to grab, and hopefully I have my circle. Where'd my circle go now? Let me grab a circle. I have all these circles on my desk. And where did it go? Hold on, hold on. Let's see what I have here. Here it is. I found it. Right here is my circle, and these are from Spotlight on Nature. I love the Spotlight on Nature circles because there's so many different designs on the outside. I should have grabbed my take your pick tool with my brush on. It's like watching paint dry on a wall, isn't it? All right, so I have all those pieces out, and we are going to lay our stitch circle from Stylish Shapes right on there like that. Go ahead and glue it down. Okay, like this. All right, then we're gonna grab some of our flowers. What I did is I just stamped like a bunch of flowers, and then I could arrange them the way that I kind of wanted to arrange them, if that makes any sense. So I'll put that there, that there. Grab another one of these and put this here, like so. And then I want to grab a yellow flower, and that one will work, and we'll put him right there like that. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my dimensionals, and we will put this together. So remember, when you're doing your box, guys, I got the top and the bottom mislabeled. They're opposites, and I do apologize about that for sure. Put that about right there. The dimensions and everything are all right. I just had them reversed. And I thought something looked off when I was doing it. Oh, and I got my little leaf. I'm just going to put a little drip of glue on the end of him. And kind of tuck him under like that. And this little leaf, I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to tuck him under like that. And then we have a little banner. Now, I used a different stamp set here for our little banner, but let's see. I'm going to pull out tags of thanks because I like this one that says for you, and I'm just going to do that. Or you could use friend. It just has a lot of good words on it. All right, so let's pull that out. We're gonna enhance this a little bit. Let's see, for you. And let's see, how big is friend? Friend is a little small. I think for you will be perfect. And you can use any stamp set that you have for that. In the stamp set Everyday You and Me, there's not really anything small enough for that little front part. And let me grab my Pretty Peacock ink. Pretty Peacock, Pretty Peacock. Here we go, here we go. And I'm going to grab, where did I put my stamp pad now? Oh. You guys know me. I put things in places you'd never imagine. Tell you what. There it is. Right in front of my face. Ah, you guys ever do that? It's like, surprise! I'm right here, Mom. I'm right in front of your face. All right, we're going to stamp this for you on here. Just like that. All right, and we're going to pop it up, like right about there on dimensionals. Grab a couple of them. I got dimensional backings all over my desk. All right, and that's going to go right about there. And then we're going to take one of these little blue flowers. We're going to pop it on dimensionals, just like this. And it's going to go right there. How beautiful is that? And then we're going to take our box front, and we're going to put this on our box front on dimensionals. Oops, sorry, folks. Okay, and that's going to get centered just like this. How beautiful is that? Come on. I'm going to put my hand on the inside so I don't push down too hard. And there is our box top. Now we can set that aside. All right, box bottom. Now the box bottom is easy to assemble because obviously it is, you know, the bottom to our box. But one thing we have to do in this is we're gonna have to make our Rolodex part, and it has to be stapled down here in the center. We have to have this coming up in the center of our box to hold our Rolodex together. Okay? So if this is our box, you have to have your flaps on the outside here. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our ribbon. Let me find my ribbon. Here it is. And I'm going to let this ribbon be really long. You might waste some ribbon here. I'm going to say probably cut about 20 inches of ribbon or so. And it's going to be a lot, but it's going to be easier for you to work with. Actually, I take that back. Cut about 14 inches of ribbon. Okay? 14 inches. And what we're going to do is we are going to take our stapler, and let me show you the inside of my box here. You can see this, how it comes up from the center, how it's stapled there. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm going to flip it over. You can see how it comes up from the center. All right, so what we're going to do, one of these pieces, and I'm going to pick out which one's the most straight. I'm going to cut this piece here in half, just like we did with the box top. We're just going to slice this one in half, just like this. Okay? All right. Now I'm going to put these two pieces in. This piece is going to come over. So I'm going to put my ribbon on this piece here. And I'm going to put it in the inside like this, and I'm going to staple it. Okay, let me grab my stapler. Here it is. And I have a mini stapler, but a regular stapler will work too. I'm just going to staple this in. And I'm going to put a couple staples in because I want it to really hold. Okay? Now I know that this piece has to be in the inside like this because I have to have this piece coming up, right? So if you want to make this a little bit stronger, boy, I'm fumbling my fingers today. All right, so you got your piece like this coming up. Go ahead and just put the tear tape on your strip over here on our side panel. Let's do that first, okay? Because it is going to get folded like that. So we're going to put the tear tape on our side panel. Push it down good. You could also use liquid glue here, or you could use Seal Plus. And then we're going to just fold this under like that. Okay, now we need to do the bottom of our box. Okay, all right. And you want this, make sure this ribbon is in the inside. Okay, so you're going to put this flap down first. We're going to put some glue on it. Flippy, flappy, flippy, flappy. Okay, we got our glue on there, see? I'm going to push it down. All right, and then we're going to put glue on this edge, just like we did the other one. And line it up, make sure it's all pretty. And then we're going to go down here in the inside of our box, and we're going to push these down. Pull up on your ribbon, though, to make sure that it is in the center. Okay, in the center. Okay, all right. Now we're going to sit this aside. As you can see, my ribbon's in the center. Okay, and that one flap down there, I should have probably cut him down a little bit. He looks a little bit, and I have no way of getting glue into him. So let me see if I can push him down with my finger. There we go, that's better. All right. So now you have your ribbon in the center and you're ready for your pages. So let's work on the pages. I'm going to set those aside. All right, now for the pages, you have, these are PCs, and you have, let me get some of this junk off my desk so you can actually see what I'm doing. Little mess piles all over the place. Okay, you have 6 pages. They're 3 inches by 8 inches, and you're just going to score them in half at 4 inches for each one. Okay, so let's do that. Let me get my trimmer out. And we are going to score each of these on the long side at 4 inches. now we're gonna put a crease in all of these with our bone folder. Let me set this aside for just a minute. We're gonna come back to that. So I'm just gonna run my bone folder across all of these. And I'm gonna kind of arrange them the way that I want them to appear in my book. And you want all the folds on one end. Okay, so I got all my folds on one end, and so in my book they would appear like basically this. Okay, so this one, see how I had two colors by each other? I'm just going to slide it around to maybe the back side because I don't want them to be color to color. So I'm just kind of looking, make sure I don't have any weird stuff going on. See that one too? We'll put him on this side and there. So I have 3 and 3, okay? And our ribbon is actually gonna go in between here, but before we do that, we have to do a little bit of scoring on, or cutting on these, okay? So I'm gonna take 3 at a time. And let's see here. I'm gonna give you the dimensions. Give me just a minute. Okay, so I have, sorry about that, I was adjusting something here. You have your 3 pieces, and doing these 3 at a time makes it a little easier. You probably could do them individually, but I like them to kind of line up pretty good, if that makes any sense. So we're on our fold, okay? So, and let me show you what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go over 1 inch on this side, okay? And we're gonna cut up a 1/2 of an inch. Let me get my score line here. So if you put it on, when you're doing this, like I'm putting mine, just so I can show you, I have it on 5 1/2 right here. So I'm gonna take it from the 5 1/2 mark up to 5, and here I'm over 1 inch on my cutting platform. So I'm just gonna go up a 1/2 of an inch here to 5 inches, okay? Now I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm gonna go over to the inch marker here. Make sure these are all, I see them off a little bit on this side. I'm gonna go over to the inch marker here. Okay, I'm on an inch. Make sure all those are good. And I am, once again, gonna place this on 5 1/2. And I am going to go up to the 5 inch mark. Do you see where I'm doing that, guys? If I put my paper right here at 5 1/2, I have to go up a 1/2 inch. So I want to go up to 5. I hope you can see that. All right. So what that does, when we lift it out and you open these, it gives you your little Rolodex piece. You kind of got to work with it just a little bit the first time. Come on, get out there. There we go. You can kind of see it there. There's your little Rolodex piece. Okay? And you can actually do this to all of them. They'll pop out like this, your little Rolodex, because at 4, you got to work this score line. That's the key, is just to kind of crease it. I don't know if you can see me doing that, but you can see how when more you work that score line, the better it comes. So that is how you make these pieces. And now we have 3 of them, and you can kind of take these and crease them here like this. And this is the important part that we're going to be working with. Okay, so you're going to want to do that in each one. So you're going to open them up. This one didn't cut all the way through. Well, that little stinker. I have to put that one through. I bet you this one didn't either. You might have to do them individually. Yeah, this one didn't cut it off. Okay, do them individually. That's not a big to do. Just make sure you're on the fold, okay? And I go over 1 inch on this side. This will give us lots of practice. I'm going to move this up on the 1 inch mark here to 5.5 where the base hits, just like that. And then I'm going to go up here till I get to the 5 inch marker. And then I'm going to move this over, just like this, to 1 inch. And again, I'm going to make sure my paper here is lined up at 5.5. And we're just going to go up to 5. And when we open this up again, you have your little piece here. You just have to work it a little bit. Just kind of work that seam in the middle. That'll help. Okay, you punch it forward, just like this, and we fold at the seam. Voila, number 2 done. Okay, see how that works? Aren't they beautiful? All right, let's do it with this one. We have our fold right here on the bottom. We're putting this over at 1 inch. I'm going to move it to 5.5 for the base. And I am going to cut up to the 1/2 inch mark. And then I'm going to slide it over to this side. Just like that. And I'm going to cut on the 5.5 inch mark up to the 5, like that. And voila. Now when I open this one up, we just push it forward. Push that piece forward. You kind of got to work it a little bit. And actually, I'm a little short on this side this time. We're just going to extend him just a wee bit. There. Now, this will fold down just like this. And we have number 3. So I'm hoping you guys are seeing this. I am going to try to zoom in this time a little bit for you, so you can see it a little bit better. Let's do this. Hopefully you can see my markers on there. So we have our fold. Okay, we're placing our fold at 1 inch on this side. We're going to line the bottom up to this 5 inch marker right there. And we're going to go up to 5 inches. And then we're going to go over here, put it on the 1 inch marker, put this on the 5.5 inch. There you go. And then we're going to go up to the 5 inch marker, just like that. We have our piece. It's going to fold in. This crease folds right in like this. And you are just going to fold these down like this. And we'll add him to our pile. He goes on this side. And we have 2 more to do, so you get to see it again. I got my fold on the bottom, okay, fold, 1 inch marker, put the bottom at 5.5, right there, and I'm going to cut from 5 down to the bottom. Then we go over here, make sure it's on 5.5, just like that. I'm going to go up to 5 inches, just like that. Pull it out. Now, if you're good at cutting and you just want to cut these, do it. You know, whatever floats your boat, whatever's easiest for you. But we're just creating right now this little Rolodex. And our last one, again, fold on the bottom, go over to 1 inch. Okay. And then we're gonna put this on 5.5 inches like this. And we're gonna come down like that, or go up to 5, whichever you prefer. And then we're gonna move it over 1 inch on this side. And then we're at 5.5 here, right about there. And we're gonna take that up to 5 inches, just like that. And then we're gonna open it up. We're gonna push this forward and then fold your flaps back and voila. Okay, so now we have all of our pieces with our little Rolodex and they look pretty good. Okay, now we are going to bring our box back over. And this is where it can get a little tricky because you see here, I have the ribbon. Let me see if I can show you where the ribbon is. The ribbon is in the middle of the 3rd set. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna back-to-back glue these 3 at a time, okay? So I'm gonna pick 3 out here, just like this. Those 3 will be next. And I'm gonna take the back of these, just like this. And this one is going to get glued to this one, just like this. Okay. And then we have this one here. And this one's going to get glued to this one. Just like that. Okay, go ahead and, all right, and then we're gonna set that pile aside. We're gonna do the same thing to this pile. So this one here, gets glued to this one here. Okay, this one here. Gets glued to this one here, just like this. All right, and then we're gonna run our bone folder on them. Okay, now attaching your ribbon, you could just glue it down, and I'm actually going to kind of slide mine apart here a little bit so you can see it. So I'm going to, actually, I don't know if you can see that or not. See how I stapled it down here and then I glued it, but you want to make sure this is kind of tight, okay? So I'm gonna pull this, turn it the way I want to. You wanna make sure it is centered and not twisted, okay? And then I'm gonna come in here. So I wanna be able to pull my book out, right? There we go. So you want to put the base of your binding here just a wee bit, maybe like 1/8 of an inch. I don't know, I'm hoping you can see that. 1/8 of an inch in, okay? Because you want it to be able to flip. You want to be able to have it come out so you can move it. If you push it too far in, you're not going to be able to do that, okay? So now I'm going to take my stapler and I'm going to open it up. Let me get this lined up Do you see how close I am to that edge on this? And you want to make sure it is centered, okay? Because I got to have this to be able to pull up. The ribbon is kind of what keeps it in the box. And you can't pull too hard on it because then you'll pull the paper back into the box, like I've done here a couple times. All right, so now you're gonna, how can I do this? Let me open this up. The stapler might not allow me to do it. I thought if I did it that way it would work. I don't think it does. I'm going to put tear tape on it. I'm going to make it easy, and then I'm going to come back and staple it. Let me grab a piece of tear tape. And this is just going to kind of hold it in place for me. Getting it to that edge point again, making sure it's centered so it goes in and out, just like that. And it's taut. And I'm going to put that piece of tear tape on right there. And then I'm going to open this up and come in from this edge. And I'm going to staple it in there a couple times so it stays. There we go. So now we have that one in there. Okay. We have this long piece of ribbon, which we really don't need anymore. So we can cut that. I tell you to cut it long because it's easier to tug on it. And we're just going to snip that off. Okay. Because it is stapled and it has a piece of tear tape across it. Now you could put another piece of tear tape just to make sure, like right down here at the end. Because you're going to put glue on this piece anyway. So the tear tape isn't going to hurt anything. Because when we put our glue on to put our two pieces together, just like this, okay? And then you're gonna lay this one in. Let's see, I don't want those to be, we'll do this. And I'm just gonna line these up and I'm gonna put glue on the rest of this. Just like that. And then this. Oops, I'm stuck to my table. I'm gonna make sure it's lined up. And this piece is gonna come in. I got glue all over my fingers. It's a green glue kind of day, right? It's gonna get lined up right here at the bottom, just like this. So line up those pieces. Hopefully you can see me doing this. Just like this. I think I'm down a little bit. There we go. And this is your Rolodex. Pretty cool, hey? Now we just have to decorate it. So let's get to decorating. Okay, now that we have our box here somewhat assembled, we need to take our pieces and start decorating this. So I have my pieces here. I have my 8 pieces for my pages, and you can randomly just put these in your book. I will show you page by page how I did mine. So we'll leave the front and the back to decorate in just a minute. So at the top of my book, I have, and they're a little tricky to put on here, but I have this piece of Pretty Peacock going on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this on with my glue gun. Had a little glue booger there on the end of my glue gun. Didn't want to come out. All right. So here we go. We're going to put this one right here, just like so. And then I'm going to take a flower, and I have a whole bunch of flowers cut out, guys. So I'm going to take a flower and a leaf, and I am going to pop these up on dimensionals here. The nice thing is you can kind of just put your little leaf right off to the side here and then stick it down. Okay, so that's one page, and I'm going to kind of turn my box here. It's a little difficult to work with. It loosens up a little bit as you're working. Okay, what'd I do? And I got my box upside down. That's no good. Oh well. You can decorate this however you want. Mine's going to be a little bit different this time. All right, so we're on the next page. And I am going to put this right here on the top. Whoops. And just like those. And then we're going to take another flower right here and two more leaves. Oops, I have two different color leaves this time. Grab another one. Well, where's my light leaves? There we go. All right, and I'm going to grab some more dimensionals. Oops, move my glue gun out of the way. And we're going to pop this up just like this. And it's going to go right here. And then we can put these little leaves directly underneath. I'm just going to put a little dimensional there because we're sliding it underneath. Nobody's going to see it, like that. And where did my other leaf go now? There it is. Just like this, slide it under. Okay, now we can go on to the next page. Now the next page I used a stylish shape banner. And, whoops, sorry about that, wrong stamp sets. Here it is. And we are going to pull out Love Every Moment, like this. Grab my block here. Put that on a diagonal. And my foam pad. And my pretty peacock ink. We're just gonna come in here and we're gonna put this across just like this. Voila. Okay, move that off to be cleaned. We're going to grab another blue piece. And you can decorate this, like I said, any way your little heart desires. I did leave some of these with nothing on them because I thought they would be great to put pictures on. You know, if you were given this for a wedding album or something of that sort. Let me zoom out of here a little bit. Let's see here. Just want to zoom out just a little bit so you can see a little bit more of my messy desk. There we go. It was a little tight there. I was trying to do that before and I never moved it back. So, okay. And then this is going to go on an angle just like this. And then I have another piece down here on the bottom of this one. Woo! I'm throwing paper now, ladies. And there we go, just like that. And then we're going to flip to the next page. And the next page in our book has So Much Joy. And this is on the Nested Essential. I'm going to call it a squoval. So let me get that stamp out of my... Oh, great. Where did I put So Much Joy? I see So Much Joy. My So Much Joy fell on the floor. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, Let me clean it real quick. I want to make sure I didn't get any dust on there. All right. And again, we're going to come in with our Pretty Peacock ink. And we're going to put So Much Joy on here, just like this. Okay. Set that off to be clean. Close my ink pad up. And I'm going to take another one of our little rectangles here. Now you could even cut more little rectangles if you wanted to. I just, again, wanted to leave you space that you could add other things to your little book, okay? And we are going to grab some more dimensionals to pop this up. This would be, oh, when I smushed it. Well, we're going to put it on anyways. I'll try to fix that later. Okay. And then we have the next page, which I had another stamp set, Life Detours Are Better With You, because I kind of made this as a little graduation book. I'm just going to put Friend on here from that tag set that I had out earlier. So let me grab that. Just a simple friend. Get a little tiny block here because we sure do not need a big one for this little word. Just a wee bit of friend. Go. And we have another rectangle here. And we're just going to put it on here like so. This would make an awesome baby brag book for any of you who have children or young babies, or if you have grandkids. Or if you just know somebody that's expecting, because they can put their little Polaroids in here and be able to, I'm just looking at my other book, and be able to share them with people. They can carry this right in their little purse if they wanted to. All right, and the last one here is going to be another piece, just like this. This, and we're going to grab another flower. Let's see, I want a light one. Here's one. We'll put a big flower on, and that's kind of big. Let's use a littler one, and a leaf, and a dimensional. We're just going to put that up there like that. And then we have the front of our book. And our front of our book, you are going to have a scallop here, which I don't have those cut. So I'm going to skip that for right now, but that's real easy. You have a strip that'll do that. We're going to use our, I'm looking for my scissors so I can punch out all these little pieces in this doggone thing. There they are. These, again, are the Spotlight on Nature dies. And again, you could decorate this with anything. You could use sports paper if you have sports paper. You could use, oh, the new scrapbooking kit we have with the plaids and the camping rustic look to it. That would make an awesome, you could do like fireside chats. You could even use it as a little journal if you wanted to, where you could write your thoughts in. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here, and I'm just going to glue it down. Just like those. And then I did the size smaller circle from the Spotlight on Nature. And we're going to glue it down. Like those. Okay, and then I'm going to grab another little flower. And I'm going to grab 2 of the pretty peacock leaves. And put that on here like that. And I'm just going to make these come off of here. I'm just going to do them right on the back side. Save a, oops, upside down. Save a little dimensional. And that is going to go right on here, just like, woo. Just like that. Okay. And then we'll have our little scalloped edge here. And then we're going to flip it over. And on the back side, I did the same thing. Real easy peasy. Sorry, this is probably like watching a fly crawl up a drape or watching paint dry, right? Not very entertaining. All right, we're just going to put some glue on it. Just like this. And then we got our other piece, designer paper. And in it goes, just like this. And then I'm going to grab another flower and another leaf and another dimensional. Boop. And we're going to put this down right like this. Let me see if I got one more leaf. Ooh, I do. Let's put a dimensional on the back of him. Push him up underneath the flower, just like, whoop, get underneath there, just like that. And friends, this gets tucked down in, and you got your beautiful lid that goes on like this. Come on. First time on this little tricky, just like that. Okay. And that is your beautiful Rolodex box. You just pull this up and your pages will flip open. And actually this is the front of the box. Your pages will flip open. You can add your pictures just how you would like into your little album. I hope you enjoy this little project. And have a blessed day. And until we meet again, my friends, happy crafting to you. Take care.